All right, it's hard to actually know when I'm live. So let's wait. All right, should be live by now. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. And man, a lot has changed from 10 minutes ago when I made the title of this video to actually hitting the live stream button of this video, because Bitcoin just dropped like over $100 in that 10-minute stretch. So let's go ahead and jump straight to the charts. Let me just pull out your live chat here. I believe I have a few friends, keeping an eye on your questions. And in the evening, I usually do some questions. In the morning, it's usually a very quick look at the markets before I start my trading day. And I've been trading and I've kind of been enjoying it. I have my entire account allocated to a bunch of positions, and we will see how that performs tomorrow as the stock markets are falling. All right, let's go to screen share. We're going right into Bitcoin. Oh, let me just double check that I'm using the yes. All right, we're all good. We're all good to go. Okay, kicking off with 200 live viewers, so we are all set. Okay, here's the weekly chart. From the weekly perspective, nothing has changed, absolutely nothing. We still have a continued element of this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th week of consecutive lower weekly high, and now we have 1, 2, 3, third week of higher weekly low. We remained above very critical areas of support, being Fibonacci and the 200-week moving average, and we are below all areas of critical resistance. So as long as Bitcoin stays between 6,850 and this 200-week moving average, which as of Sunday will be approximately 5,600, there's really almost nothing we can say about Bitcoin from a long-term trading perspective. We do have sequential, and this sequential is on a red 6. But here's the hard one, right? Next week, in order to get a red 7 and remain on a bearish trend in sequential, we would literally need Bitcoin to start trading below 5,300. And I think that is somewhat unlikely, but yes, it's possible. Anything is possible. So let's go to the lower level time frame and take a look. So Bitcoin just dropped quite a bit, and I am still of the belief that we will hold this particular low. Even if the stock market begins to crash, I believe, begins to crash, continues to crash, I believe we should hold this low. Now, just because I think we should do something, it doesn't mean that we will do that set thing. So having said that, if Bitcoin goes below this area, Bitcoin is in serious trouble. If Bitcoin goes below this $5,800 area, Bitcoin is in serious trouble. It basically endangers everything. We need to maintain the element of higher lows. By breaking this low, we get pretty much break this low as well, and then we get dangerously close to the next set of lows. We still have the setup trend line that can hold Bitcoin up at 5,000, but that creates this double bottom area at 5,000, basically endangering everything. And because everything becomes endangered and the halving is coming and the capitulation has taken place, that's why I believe this low is going to hold. And I would be a buyer, and I have been a buyer of Bitcoin. Well, back here, every time it dropped below 5,000, and now I am a buyer of Bitcoin every time it drops below 6,000, because I believe this is the last year you will get a chance to buy Bitcoin in its 5-figure form. I believe next year we will spend the majority of the year above 10,000, and the year after we should, start to break that $20,000 area. So I still say the majority of this year will be spent below 10,000. The majority of 2021 will be spent between 10,000 and 20,000, and the probably more than half of 2022 should be spent above $20,000 per Bitcoin. It's also possible we're not going to break 20,000 until 2023, but most likely it will happen in 2022. Okay, let's go to the lower level timeframes. Let's see what just happened. Well, we are back in this declining channel, but like, I don't know how seriously we should take this channel at this point. I haven't really been paying attention to the 12-hour chart, haven't really cared much about it. It's just on a red one price flip. It has not really given you anything on the sequential, so I'm not gonna do much with it. The 4-hour chart has been a little bit better. You can see that the 4-hour chart bounced right off the setup trend line. It not exactly topped on a 9, but it consolidated with the 9, and it just gave you a red 2 going below a red 1, and the price of Bitcoin dropped about $130 in a very short amount of time. I'm not going to go to a low level time frame. I don't think it's all that necessary. However, I am very curious about the stock market, and the stock market is dropping very rapidly. I was a little bit concerned this morning that we were once again hitting the 38% Fibonacci, and we went slightly higher than the high that we achieved on Friday or Thursday, whenever we achieved that, I believe Thursday. And we perfectly, absolutely perfectly, almost to the penny, touched the 38% Fibonacci line. And that is why this other line is identical with that first line. That is absolutely incredible. It's amazing how sometimes TA just lines up so perfectly. I mean, I've been talking about this 38% Fibonacci line, way back here. And while even I wasn't crazy confident that we're going to go up that high and hit it, we perfectly went up and hit it. It's really incredible. And we've now turned from this line. I was a little bit concerned this morning because of the double top, but clearly the Fibonacci resistance was bigger than the double top scenario. Now comes the big one, right? Now comes the 38% Fibonacci line in the opposite direction. I am fairly confident we are going to hit this line. I don't know if we're going to hit it tomorrow, but sometime this week we will probably get pretty damn close to this line. And now we have now we will have a double top scenario here and a double bottom scenario here, and one of them is going to give. If this 38% Fibonacci gives way, I don't have any stock in this area here. So now we are talking the S&P 500 falling down to 2350 area, or the more likely scenario, all the way down to the 2300 and lower area. If we go lower than this part, then very, very likely we will get new lows in the S&P 500. So the big question is, what does that mean for Bitcoin? Does a new low in the S&P 500 bring us new low in Bitcoin? And I don't believe that it will. I still believe that this low will hold. I am not as bearish as most of the people that were bullish back when I was a bear. I am now turning into a bull. And I am looking to buy Bitcoin at any discount below 6,000. And the bigger the discount, the more happy I am to finally buy up some Bitcoin. Okay. So I've been pretty much a bull since this moment. I've been a bull since this day, since March 10th. I've pretty much been a bull, and I remain a bull to this day. Someone is asking me to check the EUR USD volume over the last month. I am not going to do that, and let me tell you why. Never in my life have I looked at the Euro USD volume, like never. So looking at the Euro USD volume right now would tell me absolutely nothing, because I have like negative expertise at caring about the Euro USD volume. It's the two biggest currencies in the world. I don't understand. I just don't see how analysis of that volume is relevant in any way, shape, or form. I don't even know how they're measuring it. Like, I wouldn't know what, I wouldn't know where to look, and I wouldn't know what to assess. I'm looking at some of your live chat, guys. And someone is telling me that FX volume is per exchange and not aggregated. Right. So it's more of a reason to completely ignore FX trading volume. I'm not an FX guy, guys. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of the other markets. Let me zoom in on. You know what? We'll take a slightly broader view of the S&P 500 in a minute, but I am looking at this 10-minute chart. I pay attention to the 10-minute S&P chart all day. So what I do is during off trading hours, I look at the futures market on a 10-minute scale. During live trading action, and because my futures chart is on a 10-minute scale, my S&P cash market, which is this, is on, well, it's on it's on a daily scale or a weekly scale. Okay. During trading day, I flip them. I look at the futures on a daily scale, and I look at the S&P cash market on a 10-minute scale. So we can go to the weekly chart and just, it's always good to take a slightly broader view of it. And this is why, see, not only was that resistance a 38% Fibonacci resistance, it was also the underside of the 200-week moving average, which is very, very significant. Okay, so I'm not surprised at all that we got a full rejection right here at this price. And the big question becomes, will we get a higher low or will we get a lower low? And my answer is I have absolutely no idea. It really depends how bad the coronavirus is going to get in the US, okay? I will agree with this, that the media and the Democrats want the economy to completely collapse because their number one priority is to eliminate Trump from office. So they don't care, they don't care what they do. Like, they really couldn't care less. Like they would, to me, the Democrats are, one wrong step out of bed from being full-blown communists, and therefore there's absolutely no measures they will not take to remove Trump from office. Okay, and Trump is clearly a capitalist. So, which is why people are surprised how come Tone likes Trump. Well, because Trump's a capitalist, and most of the people that are running against him are communists, right? Like, this is why. And my family fled communism, so here's where we are, and therefore I have no idea which way this is going to turn. look, Trump really wants to get the economy back up and running, but because people like me don't have to be outside, I'm not going to be outside because I really don't want to. I really don't want to catch this thing. I want to be productive. I want to remain working. I have not taken a day off in 5 years. I have pretty much brought you daily videos, and I don't want to take a sick day because I haven't taken a single sick day since I started this YouTube channel. And I would like to keep it that way. Therefore, I am in the bunker, day 11 now. Okay, let's move on to other markets. Let's look at oil. So I read I saw the news today that Saudis are going to pump more and more oil. I'm a little surprised that oil is pumping right here. This is a pretty bearish candle that closed about I don't know, a few hours ago or whatever. And this is a pretty bullish candle, and I don't really understand why. I kind of expected this to be, giving you new lows. So this is very, very peculiar. But here's the good news. The good news is that we are one step closer to getting me a 9 buying opportunity, which I will be way more interested in taking. And I would love for that 9 buying opportunity to look like, man, I want a beautiful 9 candle. Let me see. I'm trying to find you a candle I want to see. I would love to see a candle like this. Like this would be, I'll even take it on the 8. Like this is what I want to see from oil. I want to see this. Boom. That is the kind of, I want to see that as an 8 candle or a 9 candle. This is what I want to see. I want to see this. I want to see this specific candle. I want to see that doji candle, or here's another candle I want to see, but unfortunately it has a 1 on it. So imagine this candle right there, but instead of a 1, it's a 9 on top of it. And it's very important for me to make the new low on this candle. That's what I want to see. This is not exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see this. This makes it very hard for me to enter a good trade because I'm not going to enter a trade on this 7. And by the time this rolls around, I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's going to go higher. I don't know if it's going to go lower. And in hindsight, it went higher, right? But I have absolutely no idea. But so that's what I want to see. Am I going to get what I want? Well, I have absolutely no idea. So we will all find out together. But this is not the kind of 6 candle I want to see. I want to see oil in that 1750 range. And I want it to drop not in the next 24 hours, not in the next 48 hours, but I want it to drop 72 hours from now. 72 hours from now, I want to see oil crater so I can, get in a really good trade on the cheap. That's what I want to happen. Yes, it was Russia. And it wasn't ancestors. It was, well, I'm sorry, not everyone's alive. So my grandfather and my grandma, who also fled Russia when I was already alive, they've both passed away. So it wasn't really ancestors. It was more like, current generation. Okay, silver. I should probably look at gold first. Gold. Gold on a weekly scale remains very schizophrenic. That does not allow me to properly analyze it. Gold on a daily scale is also in the middle of freaking nowhere. It has no trend. It's going up and down. There is a chance for an absolutely gorgeous head and shoulders. And I hate head and shoulders, but I've been talking about it more and more. Here's your left shoulder. Here's your head. And this has the potential of a perfect right shoulder. And if that happens, I will be such a giant gold bull upon the break of 1675. Break 1675 sometime in mid-April, and I'm a huge bull in the world of gold. Yes, correct. It was USSR back then. All right, 1 second, guys. All right, now we're back. Okay, so silver. Silver is pulling back a little bit. And like I said, for me personally and my trades, this is perfect. I want to see silver close below $14,000 when it comes to option expiration. Because I sold some options. I sold 13 strike calls against silver. Well, SLV, 13 SLV, which is approximately $14 for silver. All right, that's almost it for me on the updates. We can go back to Bitcoin, and we can see how Bitcoin is. Well, it's actually below 6,300. I guess it dipped a little bit more. Go to that 4-hour chart. Dipped a little bit more. I can take a look at your live chat. Gold 4-hour 9. Buy. I don't want to look at gold on such small levels, guys. I don't want to do it. In your website, you've linked to the CMT exam. Do you still feel it's a good certification to have? Do you have it? No and no. It's not about having the certification. It's about the reason why the CMT exam is linked in my educational section is so that they have pretty damn good learning material. You don't need the CMT exam. I mean, why waste money and take standardized testing if you're going to be trading? Like just trade. Like nothing is stopping you, right? It's like taking a business. It's like saying I guess maybe you should take a business course before you start a business. It helps. But imagine if you had to imagine if you had to pay for a business certification course before starting a business. Like, what's the point, right? You read the material, you learn how to start a business, but why waste the money to take the exam? So my answer is no, don't waste the money to take the CMT exam, but feel free to use their material to study. Yeah, we can go take a look at the dollar. One of the stocks I'm trading, NVIDIA, because it's very volatile and I like volatility. But I like volatility in a standardized, structured, safe environment, which is why I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin's volatility. Yeah, I'll take a look at TLT as well. Let's look at DXY first. So the dollar has stabilized a little bit. It tops over here right on this 9 on a daily scale. What does it look like on a weekly scale? On a weekly scale, it's on a 3, and on a monthly scale, it's also on a 3. This is great. I no longer have to flip timeframes. This is awesome. So we're on the red 6. The pattern's in the middle of nowhere. There's really not much, guys. I am a dollar bull. I am a bull on the dollar, and I am a bear on every other fiat currency. I am also a bull on Bitcoin versus the dollar. Comments on CZ by market cap. Well, CZ is obviously following Justin Sun's playbook of print your own money and buy up a bunch of companies. Why would an exchange owner want to acquire this asset? What do you mean? CoinMarketCap is where everyone goes to look at shit coins, right? He will not. It's media. Why does anybody want to own the media? Why does Roger Ver needs to own Bitcoin.com to scam you and selling you fake Bitcoin? I mean, why wouldn't CZ want it? It's one of the most viewed websites on the web in crypto space. With a shortage of physical gold and silver, could that be the catalyst that forces people into Bitcoin to protect their purchasing power? Sure, it helps. It absolutely helps, right? Why would you want to pay, $100 an ounce premium on gold? Why would you want to pay, a $10 an ounce premium on silver? 1 ounce of silver, $14. You want to go buy a coin? You probably won't be able to buy it for less than $20, right? Why do you want to pay a 33% premium on silver. Yeah, go buy Bitcoin. You can buy it at a discount, right? I mean, look at the BitMax. You have the BitMax funding rate, and you have the basically backwardation. So right now, there is still more people anticipating planning to be short, which is why I'm a bull, right? And not a bear. BitMax funding rate's been very good here. And we took a look at the difference between the perpetual and the futures market. And it's cheaper to buy Bitcoin right now going out into the future. All right, let's see. Can you analyze NVDA and Tesla? I want to take a look at TLT first. So TLT is the bond ETF. The bond ETF is slightly turning here, but I still think it looks bullish. The bond ETF still looks pretty bullish to me. And this means that the rates are falling as bond prices are rising. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. I am completely neutral Tesla. All right, Tesla bounced very, very nicely right off a 9. It is on a red 2. It did not go below the red 1. I will say this, though. If tomorrow Tesla starts trading below the low of today's candle, which gives you a red 3 below a red 2, and the market is declining, I become a bear on Tesla. As of the close of today, I am neutral. But tomorrow, if we're trading below that red line after 10 a.m., you have to give it a full 30 minutes. If we are trading below 10 a.m., then I'm a bear. Hey, a non-trading question. Tone, does Tone take vitamins, minerals, or supplements? Do you believe in this? No, I do not believe in it. I do not take any vitamins. I do not take any minerals, and I do not take any supplements. I get my vitamins and minerals through food. If you are curious, go to tomvays.com, and after checking out the affiliate page and my new favorite affiliate, Embly, for which we are going to have these on their website for you to order your awesome Tone Vays inspired logo. You can head on over to the blog, and the latest entry in the blog is the Tone Vays diet and nutrition plan for 2020. I am doing a fairly decent job of sticking with the plan, and you will see that my plan specifically refers to maximizing nutritional density. So that means I do not take vitamins or minerals or supplements, because I make sure that I get all of that through actual food. So that is what I do. Okay. Next. So that's Tesla. Let's look at NVIDIA. By the way, I'm actually in both assets. I'm in Tesla and I'm in NVIDIA. But I'm not in them directionally. I'm in them bidirectionally. I am an options spread trader, and sometimes I do not want to pick direction. Sometimes I want to buy volatility. Sometimes I want to sell volatility. Sometimes I want to buy time. Sometimes I want to sell time. NVIDIA is in the same boat. So NVIDIA is a lot more bullish. And I've been surprised by NVIDIA. NVIDIA is actually my worst trade at the moment. So My Tesla trade is doing well. My Nvidia trade at the moment is killing me. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. So the Nvidia trade was my best trade last week. So I decided to do it again this week. And this week it is absolutely killing me. I think I screwed up on some of my parameters in my spreads. I will, of course, reevaluate over the weekend so that I don't make the same mistake again. But my trading aside, Nvidia is looking fairly bullish, but with the market turning the corner right here, well, with the market turning the corner right here, earlier today, well, it turned the corner at night, but then it rallied early in the morning. Then it turned again around 11 a.m. With the market turning at 11 a.m. And this is what happened after the close. So this is the close of day, right around here somewhere. And then it really dropped. So if the market opens very poorly tomorrow, it can all unwind for Nvidia. Now, Nvidia is doing fairly well. I guess more people are, playing video games and using their computers. So investors are more interested in Nvidia, but it will not. But if there is a big downturn in the market, it will not save Nvidia either. So for the time being, I have to assume Nvidia will make it to a 9 at the end of the week. And it may or may not break this setup trend resistance. But if it doesn't, and it turns right here, this could be a lot of momentum and it can fall quickly. Let's just say I would not want to be long. I mean, Nvidia was a beautiful buy off the 9, even a better buy than Netflix in terms of percentage. I mean, Nvidia has just rallied 50%, which was incredible, which is why my trading got me in a little bit of trouble earlier, especially earlier today when it was all the way up. Because I expected Nvidia to pull back. Hell, I expected it to pull back last week. That was just insane. This 50% run up for almost $100 in the shares of Nvidia. So I am expecting a bit of a pullback here no matter what. So that's my assessment of Nvidia. But under normal market conditions, I would be insanely bullish this chart. All right. Speaking of oil, so here's one of my directional trades. Those are bi-directional trades. I also have directional trades. So I could not pass up this opportunity to get in an oil trade at a steep discount. And what made me confident in this trade was this weekly 9. Now, because the 9 is on a weekly and not a daily, I had to adjust my trade to be a little more longer term looking than a simple small swing trade. Those are all the hints I will give you. I am not saying this is the best possible trade in the world of oil, but if you know how to manage your risk, this is something I do. I don't look. Profitable companies that fall 90% are very interesting to me. They always were. People have been asking about JMIA, another asset, another stock that I've been really itching to get into one of these days. And it's possible I might have missed my entry off of this 13 and this 9 as it continues to pull back. Like, man, getting in on this at $2, I mean, there's only so much lower it can go. It had a 9 on a weekly. You can see that right there. God, I love this thing. Makes it so much easier. You had a 9 on the weekly, but I don't like this red one. So maybe there'll be another opportunity. Maybe there'll be one more chance to buy it really on the cheap. Maybe. Tilray is the other one. I have a directional trade on Tilray to the upside, which was overhedged and hence no longer making money. So I would love to see a bit of a pullback before going higher. That would help me out quite a bit. And it held up well today, but here comes a 9. Well, probably not. There won't be a 9. The count will break. So right now, this is still bullish. Still bullish. I know a lot of you took this trade, and it looks really, really good. All right, we got some more questions. Do you think the Fed will eventually outright buy equities and support the market like Japan has admitted already? The answer is maybe. The answer is maybe they will. Now, I don't want to get into this whole history of the Fed thing. Look, Fed's original design was to buy was to provide liquidity and to buy corporate bonds, not to buy the equities of those companies, but to provide those companies with liquidity. So, for example, right now, the airline sector is in serious trouble. The oil sector is in serious trouble. So the job of the Fed would be to support the airlines industry and the oil industry and provide liquidity and loans to those companies by giving them good terms in return for some kind of a profit if those companies, recover and become profitable once again. That was the original job of the Fed. The Fed was a private corporation created by the banks to provide liquidity to corporations so that there won't be a giant panic and they can help during, an economic crisis. Then World War I comes and boom, the government takes over the Fed. Didn't take long, only took the government like a year and a half, and they're like, ooh, I'll take this over. It's great. And then the government forces the Fed to start buying government bonds. And then all of a sudden, the Fed no longer buys corporate bonds. Now they only buy government bonds. And now they're starting to buy corporate bonds again. So Martin Armstrong explains this very, very well. Look, I don't agree with a lot of stuff from Martin Armstrong these days, but his history of the Fed is second to none. And therefore, the Fed is doing what its original job was. Finally, after 100 years, it's finally doing something it was supposed to be doing. Will they go all out and start buying equities? I don't think so. I don't think the US government will force them to do that because there's nothing private about the Federal Reserve anymore. It's completely it's a complete government entity. How does the halving affect the publicly traded Canaan mining ticker CAN? Ooh, that's a good one. That's another one. Man, I should really pay attention to CAN. That's another stock that could potentially be bought at a very nice discount. I don't think Canaan is going anywhere. And how will it affect them? Look, people will always buy mining equipment. Bitcoin price will eventually recover. Bitcoin price will eventually go to $20,000, whether it's at the halving following this halving or the halving following that halving. It doesn't matter. So I think Canaan will do okay at a $3 price. I mean, that looks interesting to me. I don't know if there are options on Canaan. But I don't know if I'm going to buy the stock outright. I don't like buying stocks outright. I think it ties up a lot of my capital to buy stocks outright. That's why I prefer the options market. And those of you that are interested in the options market may want to check out the on-demand learning education video about options. And it's not cheap, but this is 15 hours of video. And this is how I trade. Everything, the way I trade is in this video, not my strategies, but the education that I paid for, way more than this measly $2,500 price, by the way. The education that I paid for is now all been redone in a much better and greater way with my experience, but I'm not giving away my strategies. I'm giving away the knowledge that allowed me to make those strategies profitable. Okay. How would it affect it? I don't know. I think the company will be just fine. I should probably have them on my show one of these days. Next, is the current oil war the death of the petrodollar? Oh God, not the petrodollar again. Any comments on the death of the petrodollar? Guys, there's no such thing as a petrodollar. I know Max Kaiser and I disagree about many things. One of them is the relevance of silver, and the other one is the petrodollar. Look, oil is priced in dollars. The reason why oil is priced in dollars is because the US dollar is the most stable, the most trusted currency in the world. If there is another currency that is more trusted and is more stable, then oil will be priced in that currency. Done. If someone wants to buy oil for euros, they will buy oil for euros. It will be instantly converted into dollars on the exchange, and they will send those dollars through, and those dollars will be instantly converted to rubles or whoever the hell you're buying it from, right? It's just a pricing mechanism. It's the standardization of pricing. There is no such thing as a petrodollar. It's a made-up term. Exactly. Iran hasn't used dollars. Look, if Russia wants to buy, I mean, Russia doesn't need to buy oil from Iran. If China wants to buy oil from Iran, do you really think they're using the US dollar? Do you really think they are, right? They will send Chinese yuan into Iran, and there is a company that will convert those into the Iranian currency or gold or US dollars or whatever, or the euro or whatever the hell Iranian people, companies that are selling the oil want. You have a currency market, right? It's almost like saying, look, as much as I hate the shit coins, right? It's almost like saying that there is a, what do you call it? Look, I am selling this webinar, okay? This webinar costs 0.05 Bitcoin, okay? Do you have to pay me in Bitcoin? Well, no, you don't. If you want to pay me in Ethereum, you can pay me in Ethereum. You can send it into Shapeshift. Shapeshift will sell your Ethereum, and they'll convert into the currency of my choice, which is Bitcoin, and I will get the Bitcoin, right? Now imagine, well, it's the other way around, really. Now the petrodollar is the same way, right? Like if someone wants to, now it's like saying, Tom Vays, let's assume I'm a US citizen, and the government is forcing me to accept dollars. But I don't have to. I don't have to accept dollars. Just like any company selling oil doesn't have to accept dollars. Okay? I can price this options trading in dollars. Because why do I price it in dollars? Why is this $2,500 and not 2,500 euros? Because the US dollar is a more stable currency than the euro. And I'd rather have the US dollars than the euro. You can pay me in anything you like, right? I will accept Bitcoin and I will accept only US dollars. But if you want to pay me with the euro, you can pay me with the euro. I will just get the dollars on my end. But it's the opposite for people in Europe. It's the opposite for them. All right, I think I beat this topic long enough. Economics are important, guys. Economics are important. All right, any other questions? Also, because I don't see any other questions, so. How low do you think the euro US dollar can get? I think it's going to go below 1. I really think that we're finally going to go below parity. I think this virus is going to hurt Europe way more than it's going to hurt the US. The European Central Bank can't really do shit. The US Central Bank can actually do whatever the hell it wants. But the European Central Bank can't really do much. So I think Europe is going to be in a lot of trouble. So here's the Euro USD. The Euro still has a 10% premium over USD, and I believe that is going to go away. I believe that the Euro will go below parity against the US dollar. I think the British pound will be better than the Euro. I think the pound will appreciate versus the Euro. Uber and Lyft. Yeah, we can look at Uber and Lyft. Everyone always wants to know Uber and Lyft. All right, where are they? Uber. 9 tomorrow, but it's consolidating, but the market's turning. So look, everything looks the same right now. Everything looks the same. Every chart is going to look like the S&P 500. Everything is correlated. There's nothing really I can say. Like Uber will always outperform Lyft. Uber is global, Lyft is local. Zoom took a little bit of a nosedive today. Yeah, I think Zoom got a little too high too fast. I mean, they're doing well, they're making good money, but I think Zoom is about to have some competition. All right. Will BCH have any effect on BTC hash rate? Yeah, it should increase BTC hash rate. Who the hell would want to mine that garbage after the halving? ACB. Never heard of this company. What is ACB? Aurora Cannabis. Ooh, beautiful 9. Oh, wow. This thing is even cheaper than Tilray. Oh, wow. Is this a US company? Oh, and it's on a monthly 9. Ooh. And it's on a weekly 8. Oh. Nice find. So we're going to have a weekly 9. I got to switch to the weekly chart. I like this. Oh, wow. Look at that. Aurora Cannabis. Are they US based? Aurora Cannabis. Where were they domiciled? I'm on Yahoo Finance. I'm on a different monitor. Oh, but it's an article. All right, let me just go to their ticker. ACB. Yeah, would you consider doing a fitness live stream? I'm not in shape enough to do a fitness live stream, guys. Where are they domiciled? Maybe somebody can just answer. It's kind of important where the company's domiciled. I'm hoping that it's Canada or US. Canada. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, look at that beautiful top and bottom. Oh man. And it's on its final. See, it's taking breaks right here. 9 took a price flip. 9, double 9, price flip. Another 9, 913. A little bit of a rally, not much, just a week's worth of rally. And oh man. I'm at 750 viewers here. I wonder if it has an options market. What's the volume like? I have to pull up a volume chart. Oh, not volume profile, but just volume. I'm not really looking at the volume dynamic. I just want to see what the volume average daily volume is. Whoa, 31 million shares. That's good volume. It's certainly liquid enough. None of you are going to move the market. Oh boy. Too bad I don't have any money in my trading account right now because it's all allocated to positions. I might have to sell something tomorrow. Shout out to whoever told me about this thing. ACB. It's going on the list. It's going right next to Tilray. Where's Tilray? There it is. Boom. All right. See, this is why I occasionally like to look at tickers I've never heard of. All right, we have Piton and TDOC. Piton, what the hell is Piton? Pluton Interactive. Oh, recent IPO. Well, nope, weekly chart. Pluton Interactive. And no comment. TDOC. Never heard of this either. Ooh. Never heard of it, but I've clearly looked at it before because of this line and this line. I don't know when I looked at it before. And oh, they're doing something right. They're doing something right. Hasn't pulled back in a while. This is a hyperwave candidate? Nah, maybe. Maybe. That's a potential hyperwave candidate, guys. You have a phase one, you know, at $40. You have a phase two that's lasted a couple of years. And you're now in a phase three. It's looking good, still bullish on a weekly scale. Oh yeah, triple D, yeah. You know, I gotta keep an eye on this. Oh, too late. Too late. I missed it. Too late. I missed this trade. Too late. Maybe it's not too late, but it's late. Oh man, buying 3D at $5 would have been sweet. Damn. Maybe it'll pull back. Maybe it'll pull back. Maybe it'll pull back. Weekly 6, you know, maybe you got a shot. Maybe you got a shot. Man, if this thing makes one more low, if this thing comes back with bad earnings, gives me one more low, pick up the stock at like $4. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It was a $100 stock once. Man. All right, guys, I'm getting tired. There's a million stocks I can look at, but I can't look at them all. Thank you for that cannabis stock. That looked very, very interesting and lining up on with sequential. I will keep my eye on that. And We'll come back tomorrow morning and take a look at the market before markets open. One last look. Oh, here we are turning again. I think we're going lower. I think Bitcoin will survive. I think Bitcoin will hang in there. I think this low will hold. It doesn't have to hold, but I believe this low will hold. I don't think we're going to go below 58.50. We can. I don't think we will. We will see. And not sure why oil is rising here, but hopefully we'll be able to catch oil at a nice price. All right. Maybe I'll entertain one more. GME, GameStop, because it sounds familiar. Probably doing really well. Ooh. I mean, GameStop should be selling you those games through the mail. I'm not sure why it's down. That's the weekly. Let's go to the daily. GameStop was doing good. It took a hit. You know, I need to keep an eye on this. I mean, a lot of games are going to be straight up digital. I'm surprised by this big move down. Let's see how it goes. Oh, earnings. Interesting. I'm putting this on my watch list. I need to keep an eye on this. My watch list is growing too big. I can't keep an eye on them all. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on this a little bit here. This could be interesting. All right, guys. Negative rates in the US anytime soon? Probably not. Are you going over your stock options holdings? No, I'm not. Are you holding positions overnight or closing out every day? No, I hold them for a week. I usually enter on Monday and I usually exit on Friday. I don't like holding through the weekends. I like to have a peace of mind. Hyperinflation, stagflation, or deflation, which is more likely? Deflation. Deflation is more likely. 2.2 trillion is probably not enough. I believe we will still have deflation. All right. And on that note, please support with the affiliate codes. You can also support by going to the store and buying a t-shirt and other stuff that we are selling. And the financial summit will take place in Bali first week of November, understanding Bitcoin in Malta first week of October. Thank you guys for watching. And I will, of course, see you all bright and early tomorrow before markets open. And we will take a look what's going on with the S&P 500 and others. All right. Thank you and see you all on the next one.